Here's a fun little project. Longtime channel viewers will know I'm a woodshop and electronics teacher at high school, and I've been making videos for my students for a while, longer than I've been making focused or branded content, but I haven't done an introduction to the woodshop unit for my students yet. It was also my son's birthday this month. Every Christmas, after the age of 3, I start buying my kids tools, which means now my kids need toolboxes, and it's a perfect time to do both a build for my son and a woodshop video for my students. And today our inspiration is World of Warcraft, which is safe to talk about since it's now getting taken over by Microsoft, right? My students get a link to video at a certain timestamp, so enough of the intro and let's get into the build in 3. Hello class! Today I'm in World of Warcraft. We're in Gilneas because there's this really simple toolbox that I once built. If you remember, you're allowed to design and build whatever toolbox you want for the woodshop project. You have some constraints. You only get 1x6 pine, the length is limited to 16 inches, the width is limited to 7 inches, and the height is limited to 9 inches. I'm going to take some liberties, 1 because I don't like taking student wood, and 2 because it's my build. But for the most part, you can build whatever you want within those constraints. So let's look at this toolbox. We're searching for the Shipwrights tools, and it's here in this house, so we've got the basic layout. I'll switch to a video of the typical model so you have a comparison. We have a front, back, bottom, 2 sides, and a handle. Back to Hayward's home, same thing, except more angles, the sides have metal bands, and the handle has some caps. The bands at the sides make no logical sense, so I'm not including them in my build, but now that we have the overall image, let's go into the woodshop. Here I made a template of the front. I actually made a couple until I got the shape that I liked. Blizzard usually exaggerates their dimensions to make things look chunkier, more magnificent than real life. From there, I could measure angles for the sides and make sure everything would fit up. Basic dimensions: the height is pretty close to 8 inches, the width isn't more than 8 inches, and the length is 16 inches plus whatever the front and back piece end up being after planing them flat. I'm going to use some hickory. This is scrap which came from the library's bookcases. They recently went through a remodel and we wanted to save some material. Remodel's actually kind of nice. I have 2 pieces that are pretty close to the width I need for the bottom and sides, but the front needs just a little bit more width than I have available, so I need to glue up a panel. So today I'm going to plane off the glue and finish, cut the rough edges of the front piece, cut the bottom piece to size at 4 3/4 inches, and glue the front panel together. It's day 2 and I'm going to run the panel through the planer one more time to even the faces out. Then we'll cut overall dimensions, starting with the bottom and sides. I'm setting up a 17-degree angle. My blueprint has a 107-degree angle. 107 minus 90 is 17. For the sides, I don't quite care how wide it is. I just want it to be less than 4 1/4 inches. So I'll set up the fence to about 4 1/8 inches and run it through. The bottom needs to go through twice, and I'm setting it up for a 4 3/4 inches so that the blade barely nicks the top. The front needs to be 8 inches across before cutting it to length. Then I can trace my template onto both, but before cutting it out, I'll mark a center point for the dowel rod. I like making the hole before cutting my front shape, because I have more wood stock for my Speed Squares fence to rest against. It needs to be right in the middle, so we'll make a mark at 4 inches, then I'll come down on that mark 1.5 inches on both. Taking them over to the drill press, it's already set up for a 1-inch hole. Your dowel rods will be 3/4 inches in diameter. The trick I like to use on the drill press is to go down until the tip of the spade punctures the bottom side, then flip over your piece and use that point to finish out your cut. It gives a nice through hole. Before I do though, I wanted to bring it to the oversized spade bit and go to a stop point so that I have a recessed slot for a cap plate. After that, I'll run them through the bandsaw. I'm going to clean up the sides by sanding them on the disc sander later. Again, I'm going to forego the bands that hold the side panel pieces together because it just doesn't make sense. Why would you need bands for the side if you can get a piece wide enough for the front and back? Anyway, sometimes World of Warcraft design doesn't make sense. Sometimes. After a little sanding, I can do my glue up. I hope you enjoyed watching and got some inspiration for how you can bring some of your designs to life over the next couple weeks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.